clog up space. Allo had absolutely no room to run for the first down, and the Mounties will be charged with, it looks like, another false start penalty. That will be their third flag with the false start, and it just adds more room to a Tiger return, now after a 5-yard setback.
For Mount Sac, all they have to do is just clean up their act. They're playing decent. I mean, we haven't seen the big turnover, which is good, but it's the penalties that are holding them back.
Fourth punt for Fulham today. An end-over-end boot, and Tremel Davis will dive ahead to call a fair catch and make it at the 27-yard line. The Tigers are creeping and crawling, getting closer and closer to that midfield stripe in a Southern California championship game dominated by the defenses here in the opening quarter. Nick King must have to change the play calls. What's the deal here?
Well, I would like to see Nicholas King start hitting some of his receivers. He hasn't done so early on. So let's have him stand tall in the pocket and go to Isaac Whitney, Alejandro Marenko. He's got a platoon.
He certainly has. It nearly was the first catch the last drive for Duran Burton, but no receivers have a reception today. King going long. A wide open Whitney who dives and cannot make the leaping reception at the 35-yard line. That would have been a gain of over 40 yards down the far sideline, and King to Whitney now is continuing to be a struggle of a connection against Mount Sac. Now 1 for their last 11 connecting here in the Mount Sac rivalry here first quarter.
RCC has the right idea. Go long. Unfortunately, incomplete.
Whitney was open. King couldn't hit him. Delay handoff to Christopher Anderson, and he will dive his way to the 32-yard line. The Tigers, they're on schedule here. It's a 3rd and short. But, boy, if you're the Tigers, you have to be kicking at yourself with that incompletion to Whitney.
He was open. Unfortunately, like we said, it was just too deep of a ball. The blitz was read perfectly. Christopher Anderson picked it up well. Nicholas King's arm is just a little too strong.
1 minute remains in the first quarter. No score. Tigers face a 3rd down and 5. Mounties bring the blitz. King cannot get out of a sack. It'll be the first time that the Mounties have brought down the quarterback in the backfield this season. The Mounties didn't sack him at all in their first matchup, yet this time it'll be a 7-yard setback, and the Tigers are now 0 for 4 on 3rd downs today. In on the punt is Anthony Zamora for his 4th boot of the day.
The Mount Sac defense definitely backing up the Mount Sac offense. The offense is struggling, but the defense seems to be stepping up early.
It's not pretty, but it's been a first quarter dominated by Riverside defensively, as the punt will roll inside the opposing 25 and will be downed at the 21-yard line. Anthony Zamora with a 44-yard boot, and it's exactly what the doctor ordered if you're the Tigers. Riverside sets up shop defensively at the 21-yard line.
0-0 score. 13 seconds remain in this first quarter. What more did we expect in a championship game, the SoCal championship game that is? Points are going to come at a premium, Nick.
8 possessions, 4 for each ball club, and only 3 first downs total for both of these teams combined. This has been a defensive clinic for both the Tigers and the Mounties. What may be the final play of the first quarter is Allo from the gun. Tigers are showing blitz, and they'll bring it. Terrence Solomon off the edge, and down he goes. Justin Allo, my apologies, is sacked, and that'll end the quarter. Terrence Solomon, for just the 2nd time this year, gets to the quarterback. And that'll end the opening stanza here from the jungle, and how fitting. We begin just the way that we end the Mountie drive last time, with a quarterback run for loss. That'll be a 7-yard setback, make it 2nd and 16 at the other end of the break.
You would think Solomon was in the huddle for Mount Sac, because he read that count perfectly. As soon as that ball was snapped, he was already in the backfield, taking Allo from behind down.
The safety blitz, it was a play call to absolute perfection. First quarter is in the book, folks, and with 8 possessions 4 for each offense. They have yet to really even establish any sort of momentum. No possessions entering the opponent's red zone, and the Tigers have yet to even cross midfield. What is the play call for our hometown Tigers here, with really any score opening up the playbook, if you will, for both teams today? As if the Tigers were to get the opening score, that would basically be somewhat of a momentum shift, if you will, in a defensive game.
It really would. I mean, if I'm RCC, I stick to the game plan. Eventually, something's got to break. Eventually, a big run's bound to happen, which will help you seize momentum. And so, it's early. Stay patient, RCC.
Well, both teams offensively had a very regrettable ball game. The Mounties had a lot of yards but turned it over 5 times. Meanwhile, the Tigers, exact opposite. They were very conservative in their game plan with over 250 yards, under that, all-purpose in their matchup last time. The Mounties will begin with a 2nd and 16 from their own 15. Allo will keep across the 20, and shot out of a cannon goes the quarterback for a quick gain of 12 out to the 27-yard line. 3rd and 4 pursues a Mountie offense that is 1 for 4 on 3rd downs thus far.
Justin Allo, when he's asked to run, runs super hard. Last play, running straight down the middle, trying to get as much as he can, and he makes it a manageable 3rd down now.
3rd and 4, Allo with a shotgun snap, pump fake, wings it over the middle, incomplete, no flag, and the Mounties have to punt again.
Talk about an old school matchup. Here we are, championship game. Doesn't get any better than this. Both defenses playing super stout tonight.
This is the type of defensive performance that you put on a reel and send to young kids. As
it really
this is the exact way that you play defense if you're either the Mounties or the Tigers. Both sides of the ball have established themselves defensively, obviously. The Tigers may be called for an offsides here. Penalty flag is down as Tramel Davis will run up to catch it and signal fair catch at his own 40-yard line. We'll check the penalty, which may be a monumental 4th down gaffe by the special teams unit. We will check the penalty here. False start for the Mounties on offense.
Yeah.
And it looks like they will elect for the Tigers to not have a re-kick. What's very curious here, Dan, is that they let the whole play go before the false start. Well, the Tigers start with their best field position being the 44-yard line of Riverside. They're 6 yards away from the midfield stripe. And here with 14:20 to go, I've asked you this one time earlier, but what's the play call?
Right here, I want to go deep again. How about, since Denzel Foster is out there, play action at him. Go deep. Take a risk.
King, 2 of 6 today passing the football, yet still has just 1 point away from taking a lead. King with a high throw. It is recovered by Alejandro Marenco, but he did bobble it, call it an incomplete pass. King now 2 of 7 for 9 yards passing, and that just continues to show their inability to stretch the football field here in tonight's game.
A true chess match at display tonight. How about RCC getting closer and closer field position-wise? That is.
This is the 5th possession, and yes, Dan, they do have their best start of the day. But with a false start, they will face a 2nd and 15 from their own 39.
It seems like every new possession, they're getting closer and closer to
Mountie
territory.
Meanwhile, they're pinning the Mounties further and further back. It's just been your defensive slugfest, your grandfather's game, if you will, as the Tigers and the Mounties, with 9 offensive possessions combined, have 0 points on the board and have yet to reach the red zone. Tigers with a 2nd and 15 here operate from their own 39. Let's see a big play if you're the Mounties or the Tigers. Shotgun snap. Mounties bring 3, but a false start by the offense. Boy, nothing new if you're the Tigers, making another loss of 5.
We've been talking about this, and it seems like we're running on automatic.
We're beating a dead horse.
We really are. The penalty game, and it seems like Riverside, it just goes hand in hand with them. Penalties are just part of the game for RCC, it seems like.
Tom Kraft, coach of the Tigers, following 2 false starts to begin the drive, will call a timeout. That'll be his first. We are scoreless with 14:09 to go before the break. As in the second quarter, we are now getting to the midway point, and really these offenses have about as cold as this weather. They have really just gotten off to a frigid start tonight.
Both offenses playing a little hesitant. I wonder how much of that is nerves. Both offenses in the previous game during the regular season struggled. Justin Allo threw 4 interceptions. Nicholas King didn't have a Nicholas King performance. Under 100 yards passing. Under 80 yards, I think.
95 yards. But you got it absolutely right.
Yeah, and so both offenses are trying not to make a mistake, and what they've got to do is loosen up a bit, have some fun.
Yeah, don't make the big mistake. I think that's what these offenses are really thinking about right now. Nick King, who finished as the offensive player of the day last week in the National Bowl, he had 259 yards passing in that win against Ventura. So far tonight, 2 of 7 for 8 yards. King, shotgun snap, eludes out of a sack, still looking, bootleg, nearly gets sacked, chucks it away at the last moment. Do the referees call him down? Yes, they do. That'll be, instead of an incomplete pass, Nick King will run out of bounds for another loss of 9. And now King and the Tigers have a 3rd down and forever from their own 26. They need to reach the opposing 46 to move the chains.
I'm no statistician, but from the looks of it, that's going to be counted for a sack.
Either way, it may be just another one of those 3rd down non-conversions. If you're the Tigers, delay handoff to Denzel Foster, who trips over his own 2 feet and ends up crawling his way to the 34-yard line, just adding yardage to a Riverside punt, making an 8-yard carry for Denzel Foster. Well, the Tigers this season have been pedestrian on 3rd down, only 24 of 83, 29% 3rd down conversion rate in the first half, among California's worst in the opening half on 3rd downs. And they kickstart tonight 0 for 5 on 3rd downs. Zamora for his 5th punt. It's a towering end-over-end boot. And going all the way back to a signal fair catch as Vaughn's getting out of the end zone is Charles McDonald, and they'll down the Mounties at the 1. Phenomenal 65-yard boot by Anthony Zamora from the 34 down to the Mountie 1.
In a championship game, it's the small things. Special teams stepping up and backing up the offense and defense, pinning the Mounties back in their territory. Let's see if the defense steps up and creates a play.
Well, the referees called it at the 1 initially, but ended up putting the ball back to the 20.
Scratch that.
But nevertheless, special teams was an Achilles heel for the Tigers last week, but similar to what Tom Kraft has done all week, or all year, my apologies, when you screw up at one thing one week, it looks like they fix it and get themselves ready for the very next contest. 1st and 10 from the 20, not the 1. The Mounties will kickstart their worst field position today. And on a 1st and 10, Allo will pass. Looking left, swings it out to Talbert, who will end up running out of bounds after a gain of 1. Tackle made by Brock Carmen.
Both offensives coming out just playing conservative. They're not showing you much. They're going underneath pretty much. It seems like the passing game is everything intermediate.
Mounties did only take 1 deep shot here in the opening half, and that was with a near touchdown connection to Derek Macon. Nevertheless, Macon will operate out of the slot on a 2nd and 9. 12:29 to go. No score between the Mounties and the Tigers. Shotgun snap. Allo looking to throw. Wings it deep down the field. Has Antoine Anderson underneath the pass, but it was just a little bit too far yet again. Well, both these quarterbacks are trying to get the ball deep down the field, and they have combined 1 of 5 passing when going more than 20 yards.
Both quarterbacks are showing strong arms, but also inaccuracy.
Yeah. Well, both of these quarterbacks, similar to the story this season for these teams, under 60% completions for both quarterbacks this season, and have yet to really make the enormous play to win themselves as the top quarterback out of the conference. These are guys just trying to win and get into the state championship. Shotgun snap. Allo looking right. Wings it over the middle. Has a wide open Ryan Simpson. Wiggles across the 35. Still on the move and running out of bounds goes the sophomore Simpson out at the 45-yard line. That'll be a 3rd down pickup for the Mounties. Ryan Simpson make it a gain of 19.
Well, when Justin Allo is completing passes, it's the medium slant down the middle. It's the 10 to 12 yard bullet straight down the middle that has been available for Justin Allo and the Mounties.
Both third downs have come on 3rd and longs where they have converted. The pass was nearly picked off after Ryan Simpson dropped it. Simpson, after that completion, only 5'8", 160 pounds from Pasadena High School. He may be small, but has so far made an enormous impact on this Mountie drive.
And he's been the second most reliable guy for the Mounties. 38 receptions compared to Christopher Gilchrist is the leading receiver, 41. So not much of a drop-off there.